Good morning, good morning, good morning. I'm so glad to have you with us right now. My name is Joseph, as you may know, uh, and I'm here from Tech Niche Tips here. We're so excited to have you on with us, and I'm so glad that we're here. In fact, I have my guest that's going to be joining on in a minute, but before we do that, let's get to the comment section, y'all, because y'all are doing some amazing things here. Peace and blessings, Scott. Operation Tech Takeover is in the building. Good morning, Mitch. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. And then I have also with us Darcel. I do see in the comment section, yeah, but I gotta put this up first. Don't forget to hit the like button, share the stream, comment, and subscribe. And I want to stay here for a moment because listen, we had to run an audible today. Unfortunately, the guest that I had on had a personal matter that he had to take care of, and so we had an audible. We had to run an audible today, and thankfully, so we were able to get somebody who was an amazing guest. So this is going to be fantastic. So go ahead, share this with others because they are not aware that we made this change. I had to do a couple of things last minute to make sure that LinkedIn knew, but still the word isn't out like it normally would be. So go ahead and share this with as many people that you would think would benefit from this. Darcel said it. Good morning, like, subscribe, help the algorithm. Yes, I appreciate it. Darcel, yes, sir, is in the building. And we have John as well. And without further ado, I'm going to bring up, what up, yo, John? Bartolota's in the building. Let me bring up our guest here, and I'm going to say I want to say his resume or his introduction while he's here. So I have no other than Howard Ramel Jean in the building. Did I say that right? I don't know if I said that right.
What's block? Yeah, that's Howard John, bro. What's going on?
John.
All the way from West Africa.
All the way. He literally is in West Africa right now, location unknown. And so I appreciate it so much, man. I really do. You know what's so funny? When I actually was introduced to Howard from a friend, shout out to Ty. The way Ty described you, you were like an international man of mystery almost. It was like you were an international man of mystery, and he was just like, man, Howard is like this amazing person. He enters a room, people change colors, and everybody's like, is enamored with you in a very positive way. And so I just was like, man, I would love to meet Howard, and I had the opportunity to do so. And the same day I met you, you're like, man, it's a pleasure to meet you. I'm actually out. I'm going to Miami. I'll see you in a couple of days. And you literally left, and you came back, and I'm like, man, this is what I want to be when I grow up. But man, before we dive into it, I really gotta let people know who we're talking to. Howard John is a dynamic professional dedicated to fostering diversity in the technology workforce and driving innovation. In his role, he employs innovative strategies to channel minorities and women into tech careers, including outreach, board memberships, participation in conferences and summits, quick start initiatives, STEAM career virtual reality activation, and engagement in tech networking events. There's so much that you do. There's so much that you do, Howard. So I want to kind of give you the floor to kind of say and tell the people a little bit more about what you're doing currently, and then we'll dive into your story, and then we'll follow with that with a Q&A.
Yeah, well, first of all, I want to say just thank you for the opportunity, man. I know we met probably, wow, it was December like 13th, right before our Basel in DC at Thanksgiving. Shout out to Film Tro and then the team at Thanksgiving. But yeah, man, like you're doing your thing, man. You're connecting people, and you're like building something that's really going to stand the test of time because it's about quality and substance. So I want to just always tip my hat off to the host, man, and to those who are like making that sacrifice every week to create substantive content. But yeah, man, Black Meta Agency, man, we're actually inspired by the Giza pyramids. And the idea was that, this pyramid is about the IP and the blockchain and the information, and this is about the talent. So if one falls down, we can always replicate the other. And the idea from the thesis of Black Meta was to create a company that is addressing workforce across the diaspora. So again, this is actually represents the diaspora. This is America, this is the UK, this is West Africa. So that was the idea. And we've been doing so many cool things since we started, man. We are about creating innovative pathways to get minorities and women in tech, and also exposing our minority businesses on ways to integrate into future tech tools that allows them to scale, grow, and also be a part of this next paradigm shift of technology. So we do so with conferences. We have cool things like crypto and cigars. We rent out a mansion in New Orleans for Essence and do a whole weekend called Web3 Weekend, where we're having NFT discussions and business of commerces and up and coming entrepreneurs and NFT gallery owners like Rosser down in New Orleans. So I mean, we just do all kind of things, and ultimately, we know that we have to meet our people where they are, and it's about creating opportunities that are culturally aware, but also substances based, so that now we have that energy that takes to propel us to break this generational curse that we are in, as relates to our stigma when it comes to technology.
Beautifully said, my friend, and I definitely appreciate you breaking that down. I mean, we got to go deeper because there's a lot more to it. There's definitely a lot more to it.
Let's go in.
But let's go back to a little bit about your upbringing. Not too deep, not too far, but like, when was that moment where you got into technology and you said, "Man, this is the space I want to work in"?
Man, here's a wild story, man. So I actually, you know how back in the day, we aged ourselves. We had career day. And you would dress up as like different, characters for career day. And I was always a scientist. I was always the guy like taking apart, computers and radios and fixing the remotes on TVs and just doing those small things. As luck would have it, man, God and the universe said, "Hey, go into teaching first." So I had a full scholarship to become a teacher. I was on an Oprah Winfrey show where we were awarded $100,000 funds to pursue our careers in education to address the lack of Black males in education. And from there, I've always had like an indirect, casual understanding of technology. And then fast forward, man, I would say 10 years later, after my teaching and higher education career, I started cybersecurity consulting as a business development manager. And that was how I kind of got thrown into this whole government federal contracting space, and like, okay, what is the inner workings of technology and system integration and et cetera. So that was my direct exposure. But how I got into this space when it comes to creating pathways was because I went to VCon. I went to Gary Vee's infamous conference out in Minneapolis, Minnesota. We had thousands of people from around the world talking about NFTs and Web3 and all these conversations. I looked around, it was only maybe 10, maybe 50 Black people out of 3,000. And I was like, yo, like, we have to create a pathway to get this community connected to this community. Pharrell was on the stage, Snoop was on the stage, Baron Davis, Lisa Leslie, and these are all, icons in our community, and they were urging us to get involved. So that was how I got into Black Meta Agency, and that's how I started Black Meta Agency.
Beautiful. And just so the good clarity to people, they may not understand Black Meta Agency. What exactly is Black Meta Agency, so people that are not too hip to what you're doing?
No, great question. So, we consider ourselves a workforce technology agency, and we took on agency, and I'm giving y'all a blueprint, right? So I'm dropping some free game, on Technics on your podcast. But I looked at the radio industry or the music industry, right? How they drop mixtapes and they do A&R develop an artist, and then they do the full album. So we look at a Black Man Agency. We've been dropping mixtapes, across the technology sphere for the past year and a half. The crypto and cigars, the NFT discussions. Teaching kids about how to get into NFTs and Web3, and working with businesses, and advising organizations and nonprofits. So those are our mixtapes. And this year we're going to drop the major album for Black Meta Agency, which is going to be our own SaaS platform, and also some other cool things that I've told you about behind the scenes that's really going to shock the world, man. So Black Meta Agency, took the energy from the Bad Boy Records and Def Jam, and developing something on the ground, grassroots, and then coming to the full public to, hey, this is what we have, this community that we established, and this is how we're going to really change this industry.
Yeah, and I remember the conversations that we had, and to those that are not, of course, not privy to it, it's fine. You'll find out in due time, but it's definitely something that you want to keep your eyes and ears peeled to, because it could be revolutionary for a lot of things that we are doing right now in regards to. Well, I won't say too much. I won't say too
No,
much.
here's the thing, man. I'll kind of just give a little bit of, sprinkle, 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 sprinkle. But
Gotcha.
so the sprinkle is, man, we're going to disrupt the streaming industry, and we're going to really bring tokenomics into the streaming world. And we're going to do that in a very way that empowers the creators and that really gives way for a new wave of gig economists, those who are in the gig economy, that are creators, that are developers, and those who are like literally on their phone all the day and finding ways for them to monetize their time. So it's going to be something that's applicable for everyone, something that, we're going to be leveraging existing platforms as partners. So just stay tuned. I'm going to probably do a special job on Joseph's show, just because, he's been so welcoming of me and, what we're working on.
There's a lot of good. There's a lot of good. And I think that we need to talk more about the good in this world and what people are doing, the positive things, people that are giving back like yourself. And so with that being said, speaking about giving back, I would love to talk about more of the philanthropy that you have, that you do, the giving back that you do. Can you talk about the various organizations that you have partnered with over the years to give back to?
Yeah, man. So, when we first started, we were grassroots, but, although we're grassroots, we can still plant seeds. And then that's what I believe. I don't believe in grassroots and taking from the community. I believe in planting that as we're going. And some people say that slows you down, and it can, but also, you create relationships and instant impact. So, we actually did internships, initially, to kind of get started and, offer internships to students in New Orleans and some students in Washington, D.C., and some students over at U.S. University of Shady Grove. We've donated, oh my gosh, to CCNA, Concerned Citizens Network of Alexandria, with Thanksgiving drives. We've mentoring the community by giving, free career tech exposure events. I would say 80% of everything we've done has been giving back early on. And that kind of goes back into our business development model. Our BD model is very different from most business development models. And BD, business development, is how you generate revenue and traction, exercise marketing. And we didn't want to wait to go for funding. We didn't want to wait to ask for money. We wanted to start where we were. And so everything we've done, even the crypto and cigars, we sponsored the cigars, we sponsored the wine, we sponsored, the artists from London come over and really give back to the community. But some organizations formerly that we're working with now, Change Our Future Fund, is led by NFL star Rodney McLeod and his wife Erica McLeod. They've been doing amazing impact work in Philadelphia over the past 3 or 4 years, whether they've been mentoring young men, giving back to communities in the form of Christmas, doing Christmas and Thanksgiving. And now they partner with Black embedded agencies to expand their mission into career and workforce development for young inner city students. And so we've created this package called STEAM Fusion that we're working with West Oak Lane charter school in Philadelphia, where we are doing activation workshops with students and really getting our pilot, refined. And we're going to be marketing that and sharing that as a product for other nonprofits to leverage our curriculum and also our expertise. We're working with STEAM Esports. Roman Montague, he's created the first e-gaming video game show for kids, where we're matching physical fitness activity, e-gaming, and also STEAM, where we're connecting all these three entities to show kids how you can actually be healthy, how you can understand STEAM, and also develop your academic skill sets. And also, we're working with organizations like Youth Equity Summit, where you'll see a picture of me with a young man by a big poster, and we talk to kids from all over Maryland, 350 kids plus, inspiring them to leverage their technology tools for social impact, but also for economic growth and also skills development. And also, I'm a board member for the University of Shady Grove, where I chair the Engineering and Technology Committee, and I'm responsible for helping to create the K to J, which is kindergarten to job pathways. And so that's exposing young people, parents, returning citizens, non-traditional students, to how they can get into this technology world. And other boards I'm a part of include the Greater Washington Black Chamber of Commerce as an events chair, and I bring that energy and that technology, networking to that as well. And the U.S. Black Chamber, we've worked with them for the past couple of years as a partner, and I've been a part of their entity for the past 8 or 9 years, developing programming for young entrepreneurs. And so that's our business development model by working with existing nonprofits and giving back is our model in order for us to grow.
Yeah, I mean, the list goes on. Like it really
Yeah, it
does in
does.
regards to the impact that you guys are making. But I want to pause here because I believe that what you're doing here right now in regards to Steam Fusion is definitely something that we need to take a pause at and dive a little deeper in. I'm reading the flyer here, and if y'all are watching on your computer, there's a QR code right there, so you can kind of scan it to get more information. But it's basically open to middle schoolers, grades age is 6 to 8. And this is in which particular region? Is this something that somebody could do online, or is it something that people have to be present to do? And if so, where is it located again?
Great question. So that's actually located in Philadelphia, and we're housed at the West Oak Lane Charter School. And right now, we're developing a pilot just for that school. What we'll be doing in the spring is rolling that pilot out and sharing that opportunity to other nonprofits and on the East Coast. We've been working, tirelessly with the team, Brittany, Erica, and Rodney, to develop a product that is scalable, but also checks the boxes when it comes to, are we really engaging students and making an impact? Is it something that is going to be sticky, where the students can say, oh, wow, I never thought I could be a meteorologist. I never thought I could be a healthcare professional. Or I never thought I can go into NASA and aeronautics, which is our next activation on the 30th. Steam Fusion is a special project. And, the brainchild behind that is Erica McLeod, the wife of Rodney McLeod. We spoke and we met, and she told me of this vision she had, and I said, we got to go now. And I pushed her, and we developed the framework. Now we're rolling it out, and really excited to kind of bring that to the community. And we're looking for funders. We're looking for foundations, institutions that want to sponsor this in their community. It's a 3-hour event where we have a staff of 5. We have virtual reality, e-gaming. We have role playing and different engagements where the students get a chance to really experience what it is to be in that career space and create their own narrative of how they want to, change their future through STEAM.
Yeah, and I'll pull it up here so that people could see it as well. And go ahead, y'all, like, comment, and share this with others. My good friend Howard just last minute all the way, he's in Africa right now doing work there, which we could, I don't know if you feel comfortable talking about, but we could talk about that as well. He's literally boots on the ground right now. So there's a little technical difficulty, but hey, listen, we could go beyond that to see the value that's being dropped here, because it's really good stuff. Going back to Steam Fusion here, basically kind of going to look at the different events you have. This is going to be, I believe this was either last year, right? September 27th was last year's, or this is coming up this year?
Yes, so we started fourth quarter of last year, and we're going into the first quarter this year. So yes, it's from last year into this year. And we're still going. We have 2 more activations, and we're open to sharing, our model, and we want to license this to other organizations, so they don't have to do the research or the hard part. They just copy and paste what we're doing. It's fun. The kids are running, they're jumping, the kids are writing, kids are in front of the camera recording themselves as meteorologists. They're in the virtual and metaverse, exploring, storm chasing and how to do a surgery and, meteorology. I mean, it's so much fun. Like, I have more fun than the kids do, actually.
No, I love it. I love it. And I think that, when we get the children excited about technology, excited about the future, that's when we see that change, right? It just takes, like you said, that career day that you experience, that's what changes for you. And now you're pushing that forward, which I think is excellent. And I actually wanted to share this as well in regards to the esports before we talk about diversity in tech and the importance of that.
Yeah.
This is really cool. So can you talk a little bit about Steam Esports?
Yeah, man. Just listen, if you're on your phone, go to YouTube and type in Steam Esports. You're going to see Black kids excited about learning. They're jumping up and down, and they're not just learning, but they're e-gaming, they're running, they're jumping. And we know that our biggest challenge with our kids today is their physical fitness, right? And their health. And so we understand that. So, shout out to Roman and the entire team, Akila, Aliu, Sierra, and everyone that's involved, man. We take kids from the inner city. We had about 150 kids in Baltimore, and we had at the skating rink, we had the bowling alley, we had the kids doing arts and crafts, and exposing them into how they can, empower themselves by learning about STEM and learning about physics and velocity and science and viscosity and all of these terms that we don't really get until the middle, upper middle, and high school grades. But also they get a chance to compete with e-gaming. They have iPads that, again, all this is designed by Roman Montague, a Black designer that's been producing solutions for large corporations for years and thought it not robbery to say, what can we do to impact the next generation of kids that look like us? And man, this is probably the funnest thing. Yo, listen, we went to Philadelphia. We took a caravan to Philadelphia, and we did an activation with the Philadelphia Eagles and West Gold Fellows. And we have a football field set up, and we're like running around doing sprints. They're e-gaming, they're competing on the tablets. They're having conversations about their career and their career pathway. So man, like this is one of those things you don't want to miss out on. So go to YouTube, check out Ocean Bowl Games, which is part of the franchise that's created. You actually go to the Apple Store and download these games right now for free. Like that's how real we are. We're not just talking about it; we're doing it. And shout out to Roman and the whole camp, man, because again, we're transforming how kids engage and learn.
Beautiful, beautiful. Love it, love it. And then I know there's some in videos here as well where you could see the kids really engaging with everything that's going on. And for the fact that a kid can make a game, and something that they love to do, but also something that they could monetize in the future is an important skill to have. They could take that and then they could start building things. And speaking of building, you are very big when it comes to diversity in technology. And obviously, like you mentioned, you guys are in Philadelphia, you guys are in places that primarily have people from different backgrounds that are traditionally not in tech. Can you talk about the importance of diversity in this industry?
Yeah, man. I think the diversity is critical, man, for like innovation and problem solving. And as I am in West Africa and I'm understanding some of the social challenges here, I'm thinking of like we need creators from all backgrounds, all levels of infrastructure to start solutioning and leveraging technology. And for me, diversity says that we are trying to break generational curses, generational stigmas by asking people from different cultures to contribute their thought equity into solving problems. And so
Yeah.
this is one very controversial moment in history where affirmative action is being challenged. And they're
Mm.
not talking about the positive aspect of how affirmative actions has been able to open up the doors for minorities to contribute their intelligence, their genius, and their wisdom to solving problems.
Mm.
So that's part of the challenge. And when I look at diversity, equity, inclusion, I look at diversifying how we look at problems by who looks at the problem, who helps us solve the problem, and also who the problems are solving, so creating solutions for. And that's
Yeah.
where diversity comes in because if we're creating a problem solution, we're solving problems that exist in our community. And so it's not just
Mm.
about asking for equity in your community, but it's, hey, how can we have more equitable solutions in our community that are future forward and that are sustainable and scalable? And that's how I look at technology and diversity and inclusion.
Yeah. And speaking about what you just mentioned in regards to us getting more equity in this, what are some ways that people that are looking to transition into the tech industry or those that have been there for a while, what are some ways that they can make change happen within either their own company or within other companies that they may be connected to?
Yeah, so I'll start with the three E's, man. It's educate, empower, and engage. The biggest
Ah,
challenge before we have mass adoption of any tool, any new information is educating. And the first step that we can do as technologists is educate ourselves on what are those technologies, what are those tools, what are those new emerging marketplaces for value. The next
yeah,
place is empower. Empower means to share. Empower means to lift someone up. And empower means to share their education. One of our biggest issues is that we will find something really cool and we don't share with anybody. And
yeah,
the other part of that is that we limit the opportunity for creativity, for scalability, and also for growth. And the last part is engage, finding ways to engage that new tool, even if it's in a very elementary way, into your infrastructure and grow that. One of the biggest issues that we have is as Black entrepreneurs that we don't employ people. And over the past 2 years, I've employed contractors, part-time, full-time, because I know a part of employment is education, right? So when we employ somebody, we're educating them on what we're doing and what we're working on. So now they can go and create and solve and share. And that's how we really scale these solutions in our community. And again, quick information. If you really want to, learn how to go to these tech conferences, go to Techsgiving. Shout out to ByteCon. ByteCon is a conference that a Black Media Agency has supported for the past year. Go to these conferences and network. Invest in these conferences, right? So investing is not just investing for, a monetary gain, but invest in the growth of these conferences because they are solving a problem and they actually are giving back. And shout out to ChocolateCon. Invest in ChocolateCon, which is DC's culture, art, history, and conference and festival leveraging technology. And we need to look at our money in a very powerful way. This is energy. So even if you can't go to the conference, even if you can't attend yourself, sponsor somebody. Say, hey, I want to sponsor a person to attend. I want to do a partial sponsorship because every little bit matters. Every little bit matters.
And you took me right to the next place that I was going to go, which is talking about ByteCon. Shout out to Tonte and the team there.
Tonte, Kumar, Amadi, and the whole team, man. Yeah, ByteCon, man. I'm very proud of ByteCon. Again, this was grassroots. It was started 3 years ago by Tonte and one of his partners. Last year, Tonte, we reached out, connected, and we started collaborating, hitting the boots to the ground, where I helped them to expand their mission into career and workforce. And that's what we do. We talk to people and let them know that, hey, if you're not considering workforce and career development, you're missing a major part of the solution that we need for our community. And they've owned that. They've taken that. We've been featured in Miami Herald and multiple newspapers and outlets because of the work that we're doing. And we've recently partnered with KimFest, which is, Afrocentric term, Kemetic. And they are based in, I think, New Jersey, and we've allowed this to be a part of our integration and having a ByteCon week, which is, I think, the third week in April. You can follow ByteCon online. Tamonte's posting every day. He has 100,000 friends on LinkedIn, so you're probably one of his friends already.
Yeah, you probably are connected with him already, and they're going to do some really cool stuff. Actually, Tonte and I, we're in conversations talking about a few things behind the scenes, as well as Howard, you're in those conversations. So it's going to be a really great time. This is going to be April 25th to the 26th. That's this year, April 25th to 26th. So definitely check that out. And I love the work that it's doing because it's really about, like you said earlier, really helping the next generation to basically see themselves in tech, bringing in individuals like you can see on the screen here, and allowing them to see what is possible. I'm just really kind of going through it real quickly. Web3 Tech Talk, this is including AI, blockchain, AR, VR, and the metaverse. This is the future of technology as we know it. And so to get the children involved and interested in this at this age is perfect. It's paramount. And so that's amazing. I wanted to kind of highlight that really quickly here. And it's a little bit of on a side note, but I want to kind of throw in one more that you are involved with. You mentioned ChocolateCon.
Okay.
And if you don't mind talking a little bit about that, I would love for people to get an idea of what it is that you do there as well.
Man, ChocolateCon is going to change the conversation of embracing DC's history as we kind of stand up against, over gentrification. I say over gentrification because, we look at something like gentrification as a horrible thing. But I look at gentrification as a diversity conversation because, we want to empower, we want to have innovation in our communities. And innovation comes from new ideas and new approaches to looking at community building and community infrastructure building. But the plus side of gentrification is that we should have a leverage. We should have footholding in how we are improving and updating and enhancing our communities. And so ChocolateCon has done a great job. Shout out to Simona and Mia of Porch Fest DC. They literally have started something where they would take concerts or artists and preview them on porches in underexposed parts of DC and bring community members out. And that's actually taken a wave, and other people have adopted that. And you see it online, how people are having porch concerts. And now they say, hey, we want to have this festival that is an in-person engagement where we're talking about music, arts, technology, history, culture by leveraging technology. And so because DC has a very rich culture of music, and DC has contributed politically, has contributed in so many ways musically, we wanted to make sure that there is an annual awareness of that during DC Emancipation Week. And so this is going to be the first ever where we're going to actually be recording the behind the scenes, and also we're going to be recording the entire experience and then syndicate it online, Vimeo, YouTube, public access networks. And then we're going to create a documentary and take it around the world, literally in Africa, the UK, different parts of the US, to tell the story and create more momentum for the next year and the next year. So, we're doing some really cool things. We have NFT badging, AR, VR experiences. We're looking at having robots, obviously the music, the food, telecom talks with Exposure. Shout out to Exposure. Ty is big with Exposure, and Kelly, and engaging the conversation of telecommunications into our community, and also get out to vote. We don't want to bring minorities together and not talk about the power of voting and the power of our election system. And so this is a way to integrate community and technology and, social change, while having fun for the entire family.
Beautiful, beautiful. All right, family. Right now, we're going to go to the Q&A section of the conversation. So what I'm going to do is, if you are not tuned with us already, which you should be, go ahead and go to youtube.com. That's youtube.com/@TechNicheTips. Again, that's youtube.com/@TechNicheTips. It's scrolling right there at the bottom, where you could basically connect with us as we go to the Q&A portion of this conversation, and you could ask Howard any questions that you may have. Again, thank you so much. Go ahead, like, comment, and share this if you're on LinkedIn, and like, comment, and share if you are also on YouTube, and subscribe if you want to do that as well there. But right now, we are going to make that transition. So if you have not already, I would encourage you to go ahead and jump over to Tech Niche Tips at YouTube. Go to youtube.com/@TechNicheTips, so that way you can tune with us as we transition over to that portion of the conversation. But I just want to take the time right now to say thank you, Howard, for all that you shared. It's a lot. And I know a lot of people are like, man, I don't know where to begin. It's a lot of information, but it's good information, I think, that we all could benefit from. So without further ado, we'll see you over on YouTube. Thank you so much. See you in a few. Finally, I'm back again. We talked about Course Careers Technology Sales course and what it did to change my life. Wait, there's more. Not only is it technology sales information technology courses as well, now there's human resources, customer success, UI, UX, and did I even mention that there also is software development as well, front end, back end, and DevOps? Listen, this is something that you definitely want to take advantage of. So go ahead, click that link. Don't forget there's a discount from me if you click that link, and I hope to see you on the other side. Do you feel stuck? Do you feel like you're just at the same place in your career and you don't really see a way out? This is a great time for you to take it to the next level. Level Careers is a course that I've been talking about for some time. From account executive and even sales engineering, there are courses that can help you propel from where you are now to where you want to go. Check out the link below. Use my promo code Joseph10 and check out the free courses, whether that's the SOC analyst course, the account executive course, or the sales engineer course. Take your career to the next level. Hey, I didn't forget about you. You're a person that needs to be in a place where you are working close with someone else, a mentor, a friend, someone that could take you to the deeper and more intricate parts about being a sales engineer, but you don't know where to go. Learnful is a program that allows you to work with people that are high-ranking sales engineers, solution architects, solutions advisors, and they're able to not only mentor you, but teach you the ways to become a sales engineer that can be impactful for you. If you think that LearnFull is for you, go ahead and click on the link below for more information. You can use my promo code Joseph150 to be able to save. Go ahead and click the link below. And now back to our show. Howard, we're back. And I just wanted to say thank you for everybody that was locking in and tuning in with us. It definitely is appreciated. And so if you have any questions for Howard, we would love to hear those questions at this particular time. Now, what we did talk about, Howard, was a lot of the things that you were doing. Again, if you just to go back, if you have any questions, go ahead and post it below and I'll bring it up for us and we could definitely have a conversation about it. One question I'm going to ask you is in regards to what you do, a lot of it has to do with, art as well. And I've heard, and correct me if I'm wrong, but you've also been able to do certain things when it comes to art and technology, and some events regarding around that. Can you talk a little bit about that for those that may not be aware?
Yeah. So that was actually one of our first projects. We was working with this amazing Nigerian artist that lives in the UK. Her name is Caroline Shinakwe. And Caroline was launching a NFT project. She has a clothing line. She does home decor, and she has a nonprofit and does painting as well. And so I found her online and said, "Hey, Caroline, I love your work. Let's bring it to the US." And that was my first engagement where we were helping her to build a presence in the US, in New York, and also New Orleans doing Essence Fest. So, I saw art as another paradigm opportunity for our Black artists to protect their IP through protecting it through NFT and smart contracts. We know how many artists are being taken advantage of today. And also the art world is changing to where it's hard to protect your work because of social media. You can copy and print and all these things like that. But now, with NFTs, you can protect that. And so we actually like the idea of NFTs, but we love the idea of utility. And utility is having more benefit to, like, when you buy this NFT. Do you get a chance to go to the conference? Do you meet the artists? Do you have specially commemorated products? Can you leverage the NFT on your own T-shirts and hoodies and coffee mugs? And so I saw that as another commerce opportunity for Black artists, and that was how we kind of started that whole domain. And working with Portsfest, they want to again empower artists, and we're taking that same thesis we did with Caroline, and we're replicating that to the DC artist community, as well as Art Basel as well. The same concept. We're in middle Art Basel. We want our Black artists to see how you can monetize their art digitally, and also scalability as well and grow.
Beautiful, beautiful. And so I want to ask another. I want to throw a question about Web3 because Web3 may be new to some people. Can you kind of break down what Web3 is, if in case people aren't aware of what that is?
Yeah, so Web3 is the maturation of Web2, and Web2 is this right here, right? We're talking online, we're sharing video content to each other, and Web3 is where you can interface in more intimately, and also in a more high capacity frequency, right? So like virtual reality, that's Web3. You can be in the room with an avatar and actually build and have conferences. Web3 is AI. Web3 is, quote unquote, the blockchain, how now you have something that we can leverage with transparency versus privacy. Web3 is the next evolution of the internet that nobody owns. Right now, the internet is owned by the Google and Microsoft, right? Those big companies really owns the internet. But Web3 is saying we're decentralizing what Web2 was, and we have other tools that's going to even make it more high tech, high touch, and also more access points for people to be creators and owners of their own land, quote unquote, and real estate, and tools within the next wave of the internet.
Love it, my brother. I love it. Well, I want to give you one more question because I know that you got a lot of stuff to do today. Man, you literally came in. He's in Africa, like he's traveling all over from West
Oh
Africa
yeah, we didn't talk
specifically.
about that. We talk about why I'm in Africa. Yeah. So
Yeah,
real
yeah,
quickly,
that's
man,
exactly what I was going to ask you.
yeah.
But
So again, going back to my thesis, where this is the Giza pyramids, and this, I guess, this is London, this is U.S., and this is West Africa. I wanted to look at the diaspora in a different way and look at how can we activate commerce and change for our community. So this trip was about that. It was about connecting with people that are actually creating change, like Redis, RDES, eco villages, where they are understanding to how to enhance land that has been overrun with water in the Sahara Desert, and now use
Mm.
trees and technology to solve that problem. And also just getting a chance to experience the culture, man. Like, for me to really say I want to work here, I got to come and visit and engage with the people and the culture. So it's really been an education experience and getting information and networking while we're here. So it's been really exciting.
Love it. Yeah, and
And
that's what I
yeah,
wanted to ask you about. Oh, sorry, you were gonna say some more?
yeah. And I just want to give a shout out to Get Cities, Gender Equity in Tech, and I'll be connecting you, Joseph, to Get Cities. They're doing amazing work. They're a foundation based in Chicago, led by Dorian Spears, and also formerly Christina Galancy. She's rolled off, do some other great things, but they are about creating opportunities for tech entrepreneurs that are across the gender equity spectrum. And now we are sponsored by them, and so now we're able to help them grow their footprint, and also achieve the mission of expanding the technology conversation to other communities, like the CIAA tournament in Baltimore, Maryland, February 28th through March the 3rd, where they're now integrating technology for the past second year into what they're doing. So I just want to give a shout out to like all the orgs and the people like Sonjay Productions that are like trying to find ways to like be very intentional about technology integration. So yeah, man, I have a lot to talk about because I love this space. Like, this is my passion, bro. Like, I love it. I love it.
I mean, your passion is evident. Whether it's helping people, equipping the next generation, your passion bubbles out, right? It's there. You can't deny it. And so I love it, man. And funny enough, we were talking about him earlier, but guess who's in the building? Ty Smith is in the building. What's up,
Yo, what
sir?
up, Ty? What up, Ty? Bloop, 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 bloop. What up, brother?
Yes, man. Where's the horn when you need it? Brr, 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 brr. Yeah, Ty is in the building. He is in the building, and he has a question for us that I think is be a great question for you, because when it comes to networking and relationships, like, you really do that well. I'm going to repeat the question for everybody as well. The question is, what's the best networking slash relationship tip that you learned in your career?
Um, I used to call it a reciprocity of mentorship, because mentors are networking and your mentee, you trying to network, but it's the reciprocity of relationship building. If I'm coming to ask you for something, I should be able to contribute something to you as well. So if I'm asking someone, hey, can you speak at my conference? Speak at my conference because I want to connect you to this. And so it's not just about can you do for me, what can we do for each other? So I like to say the reciprocity
Mm.
of networking really creates leverage and gives you immediate value as you enter conversations.
No, absolutely. I think that mentorship is a truly powerful thing. And I'm going to piggyback off of this question with another one. You mentioned mentorship, um, the power of sponsorship. Do you have a story, whether it's in your life or you were able to pass it on to somebody else, where you're able to sponsor somebody so that you opened the door for them, then they would just ran with it? Or maybe it's yourself. Somebody sponsored you and you ran with it.
Man, listen, I tell you, man, I think that has been like the part of my career I've been most proud of. Back in 2016, a friend of mine started the Black Male Entrepreneur Institute, and it was an accelerator to really mobilize and really push, excel Black male entrepreneurs. And to say today that we started with a 20-person cohort, self-funded by myself. And now out of that group, we have about 3 or 4 millionaires in that group. Like, at least
Wow.
three, low key, but also not just millionaires, but also we have those who are doing, high six-figure revenue, and those also who has continued their pathways and leverage their experience to go into the Googles and the Amazons. Like, man, we can drop bars about that. And I think that for me is one of my most proudest moments, that, I was able to start something, create a community, and I don't take credit for their work, but I just take some credit for empowering them and propelling them forward, because we all need
Yeah.
a little bit of gas in this engine of life when it comes to our goals.
I love that, man. I love that. And I think that it's really something that is it needs to be said, because mentorship and sponsorship, they have their place, and if we could be mentors to the next generation similar to yourself, that's fantastic. If we could sponsor for the next generation as well, that's amazing. And so I just wanted to, just before we go, I just want to say thank you for doing this. if y'all are tuning in last minute this morning, I literally reached out to Howard and said, hey, I got something happened. Unfortunately, my guest cannot make it. I would love to have you on. I know it's last minute. I know you where you are right now in another part of the world. And he just said, sure. like he literally said sure. So I want y'all to, if you could show some appreciation in the comment section for him, tell him thank you. Like he is literally boots on the ground right now doing his thing in another part of the world, but he was willing to take the time to be with us. And I want to just make sure that he knows from the audience, especially for myself, how grateful we are for him. So if you can go ahead in the comment section right now, just if there's a clap emoji, excuse me, if it's a clap emoji, whatever you can, just to show your appreciation, because I want to say really thank you, Howard, for doing this for us. You didn't have to, but you did. And so we're gonna have multiple conversations with you. You're a friend of the show, whether it's a morning show with Trey and myself, or with Technique Tips. We definitely appreciate you. Mitch is giving his thumbs up. Ty also has hearts as well, thanking you for being here. Monique is giving her love as well. Thank y'all for supporting the show and supporting this episode. I could not get it out as fast as I possibly could to as many people, because again, this was a little bit more last minute. But like I said, I'm thankful that Howard was able to show up and show his time here. And so you probably got a flight to catch, or you probably got something to do pretty soon. So I don't want to hold you back too much. But I want to say again, thank you so much. And for everybody that was watching,
follow us, man. Follow us, man. We're on all
oh yeah,
platforms. I know you're big
almost
with
forgot.
social media, Joseph. So follow us on social media. Engage with us. We're looking for partners, more sponsors, and more friends of Black Meta. We have internships available in VR and also marketing as well. You know, our Instagram page is busy. We're rebuilding our website because we've done so much work over these past 9 months that our company has evolved. And so we want to share that evolution with the public in a very professional way. But yeah, go to our online, LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, you know, my social media. You know, I'm always sharing and always open to connect and engage people more into what I'm doing as well, because it's about our community, not my community, but our community.
Amen. It's a lot. I'm still scrolling. It's a lot there. So definitely go to the Instagram page, lock in with Mitch. Lock in with, I'm looking at Mitch's name, that's why I said, but lock in with Howard and the rest of the team at Black Meta Agency. There's so much there. Definitely check in with them. And also, like was mentioned earlier, come to these conferences, because these conferences can truly be life-changing, especially if you're in proximity to them. If you're in the DC area, definitely check in with Chocolate Con. Let's expand it. If you're in the DMV area, definitely check in with Chocolate Con if you can. If you can't fly in, definitely look into that. If you're in the Miami-Dade area, check in with BiteCon. There's so many different things that are happening. And like I said, in 2024, we are outside. We are the pandemic has subsided. We're outside, y'all. All right, so let's do that for sure. But again, one more time, thank you to the man, the myth, and the legend, Howard, for jumping onto the show. And until next time, family, like I always say, I hope to see you on the other side. Take care, family.
Salute.